everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to the big show here on Traveling with Bruce. It's Monday, July 17th, 2023. We're halfway through July. Can you guys believe that? I mean, you got to be kidding me! Unbelievable. Halfway through July already. I'm hiccuping like crazy. I wasn't hiccuping a minute ago. I am now. It's the weirdest thing. It's great to have you here. Thank you all for joining in, and thank you for those of you who've been hitting the thumbs up button for the last 30 minutes before I even got started. I appreciate it. We're trying to get to 100 thumbs ups every week, and we seem to do it. It's incredible. I don't know how we do it, but we do it, and it's because of basically those of you who are here live and the folks watching on the rerun. I thank you very, very much. Great to have you here, and I hope you're staying safe out there. I hope that the heat is not getting to too many of you in a bad way. Hopefully, you're able to avoid the worst of it. It's been one heck of a summer. I know that. Here in Calgary, we just finished yesterday the big Stampede celebrations. We had our greatest outdoor show on earth here for the last 10 days, and we're through the Stampede now. And we were supposed to be up towards around 80 today, and about 3 o'clock this afternoon, it got dark around here, and I mean, it got dark. There were apartment buildings around here turning their lights on inside their units because it got really dark. Cars were driving with headlights on, and then we got this rain shower. And I'll tell you, we went from 80 degrees to 60 in about an hour, and it's been absolutely gorgeous since. It's now lighting up again. The clouds are dissipating, and the sky is lighting up. So everything's returning to normal, but we've cooling off dramatically. We're through Stampede, and now we get the rest of the summer. Where typically it's not uncommon where we have a sunny morning, a rainy afternoon, and a clear evening, day in and day out for weeks. It's amazing how the weather works around these parts. It really is something. So welcome all to the program today, the channel. It's great to see it. I was looking up information today to talk to you about regarding travel news and cruise news, and I'm just bound and determined not to bring you depressing news. I just don't want to keep doing that because I keep finding this stuff all the time, and I just don't want to go there. I figure you already know any depressing stories that are out there. I don't like to sensationalize the channel with any kind of talk about somebody jumping overboard or anything like that. I don't go for that kind of stuff. I'd really rather talk to you about the state of the cruise business and what's really going on there and how it's going and what's really happening. I think you'd find that far more entertaining and interesting because every YouTube channel out there that does cruise coverage, they all have their specialty, and some cruise YouTube channels love talking about the what's that word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Clickbait headlines and clickbait stories. And since I'm not on a cruise ship, I can't give you my personal experiences as to what's happening to myself or Jennifer and I on board a ship. We're not on board a ship, so I can't go down that road either. And I don't really want to talk to you about, what's happening to so-and-so on board a cruise ship, because I'll let them tell the story about what's happening on board a cruise ship. After all, that's what they paid their money for. They're on a ship, might as well tell you all about it. I will tell you, though, that Jennifer and I are getting ready in about a month from now, not quite, about 5 weeks from now. We're going to be on a plane to London, England. And we're going to be in Europe until the latter part of October. So we're doing almost about a 2-month trip, basically, to Europe. And we're going to a number of places. And this is on purpose because we really like traveling like that. We like to go various spots and see different places. But we were seriously looking at a cruise. We really were. We were taking a look at a cruise out of Southampton on the Regal Princess cruise ship. And we thought we might take that cruise. It was an 11-nighter leaving Southampton. was going to go to Guernsey and then to Ireland and then and Belfast and then to Glasgow and around Scotland, Edinburgh, and then back. And we I've known about this cruise all year, but there was something about it that held me up, and I said to Jen, if it goes on a mega sale, like if it really gets discounted towards the end, maybe that would sway me to go with it, but it hasn't really backed off. There was a week or two where vacations2go.com was offering the cruise for a lower price than usual, but it isn't a bargain deal at all. And it's actually now gone back up in cost again. So it's obvious to me from the outside looking in, it's a sold out cruise, probably filled with a ton of foreigners going on a late August, early September vacation. No problem. I haven't got anything against that. That's fantastic, and hopefully the cruise line does well, and the people have a great time, and it all works out. So for Jen and I, instead of this cruise, that basically I was hoping it would run us maybe like $120 a day, sort of per person, but it's now coming in at over 200 a day, if not more. And I thought, no, too high. Instead of that, we're going to do an enhanced rail vacation, Euro Pass kind of a vacation, which we did last year. And we pick up one of these Rail passes that are good for like 15 days over a 60-day window, travel as much as you want. We get a senior rate because we're over 55, and we go first class. We don't buy second class, we buy first class. So yeah, we spend a little more, but we get the front end of the train and a little quieter. So we're going to do London and Liverpool, which we had planned, and then we're going to end up in Dortmund for a little bit to see some relatives. But we're now going to add, I think, 2 cities to our itinerary that we hadn't added before, and that's going to be Copenhagen and Stockholm. And we're going to get to both of those cities by rail. And I'm quite looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lovely trip. It's going to be a gorgeous ride. And we'll spend 3-4 days in Copenhagen, 2-3-4 days Stockholm. We're still ironing out the exact timing, but average of 3 days each spot. But I think from Stockholm, I think we're going to end up flying to Berlin. I think that's how we're going to get there. We're probably going to fly to Berlin. We might fly to Hamburg, actually, and maybe stop in Hamburg for a few days and catch that miniature museum we saw last year, which we did videos about. We want to stop there again, and then we'll train it into Berlin for like a week, and from Berlin we'll end up in Prague, Czechoslovakia, which I've never been to, and then to Vienna, which we saw last year for a little bit, and then to Switzerland for the last few weeks of our holiday, and ultimately fly from Munich back to JFK in New York, where we will be probably in a hotel. I think we might be in New Jersey at an Embassy Suites for a 4 or 5 night stay, and we're probably going to do a meet and greet in that region for this channel and my other channel. We'll figure that out. Still ironing out the bugs on that. And then we come back home about the 25th of October, and that'll be a 2-month vacation while working at the same time on my YouTube channels. I hope that I can get up for you a bunch of videos that you'll be able to enjoy of our trip that we'll splice together. And we'll tell you about the various travels we've done this year to give those of you out there who are seniors yourselves. So maybe you're now without kids. You're not as quick as you used to be. You're not as agile as you once were. You're a little more, you travel a little more conservatively. That's how we do it, and we're going to show you how we handle a 2-month vacay and how we go about it. And the best part about having a vacation like this is you're just not in a panic rush to get everything in, like you would be if you were 35 years old with 2 kids. If you had like 10 days or 12 days or 14 days to get Europe in, you are in a panic the whole time, and the whole vacation becomes a blur. And you get back home, and it's 3 weeks later, and you realize, were we really in Europe? Because we're back here 2, 3 weeks, and I'm forgetting about it already. Where with Jen and I, we take our time now because we can, and so we do take our time. And we're not going to be rushed. We're not going to be pushed, and we haven't yet finalized our reservations. My attitude is simple, that, you know what, I'm going to be in Europe in September, October predominantly. School is back. Holidays are over. The 25-year-olds to 50-year-olds are working, going to school. They're back at whatever they have to do. They're not on holidays like Jen and I. And so we're in a shoulder season. We don't need to worry about advanced anything, not at this time of year. My attitude also is something like, if we decide we want to see a particular exhibit and it's sold out, there's no room at the end, it's going to be packed with people, we don't want to go. We just say it's all right. We've been around long enough to let stuff go. We're fine. We'll see something else at our pace, and it'll be enjoyable. We're not going to worry about it. That's kind of what's coming up with us. Now, today I was looking up cruise news for you guys. And I was saying, I found some cruise news here and there, but it's depressing. I noticed I have not heard a word from any source about the big story that we talked about here last week. The story that I mentioned that I had read about the cruise ships, 45 cruise ships out on the open water right now, all with paying passengers that have all been determined. It's been determined that every one of these 45 cruise ships does not have the proper certified fire retardant materials on board their ships. To me, this is a big story. To me, this is a critically big story. To me, this means there are 45 cruise ships that are run by various operators, including the big cruise lines. We're talking MSC, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian. All the lines are involved. 45 of the ships, that's 15% of all cruise ships in the water right now, are running without certified fire protection between cabins, between floors, between corridors, in the kitchens, in the laundry facilities, the engine rooms. There are problems galore on 45 cruise ships. Not a peep, not a single scintilla of news from any of the cruise line associations, any Coast Guards, any of the cruise lines, any of the shipbuilders. Nothing but crickets, as if nothing is going on. There's nothing to see here. And I guess the attitude has to be, unfortunately, the way I read it, is there won't be much of anything talked about here unless a ship has an onboard fire with fatalities. If a cruise ship, God forbid, has a scenario where a passenger flicks a cigarette butt where they shouldn't, or somehow something catches fire and a cruise ship starts to get engulfed in flames, and at that point it is figured out that that ship that is burning at sea right now is one of the 45, and we have casualties, that's when the lawyers will show up. You know it. They'll show up en masse on behalf of all passengers and crew, and you're going to hear all about this fire retardant debacle that everyone knew about back in July 2023. But at the moment, I got to tell you, there's nothing. There was a statement made by the Cruise Line Industry Association, the CLIA, I think is what they're called, Cruise Line Industry Association. They made one of these very, very predictable press releases talking about how cruise lines Top priority is the safety of their passengers, and they follow all the applicable protocols and the usual corporate gobbledygook, which unfortunately, what this really is you're dealing with an industry organization that is on behalf of the industry itself. So they're self regulating themselves and they are going to the media saying, there's nothing to see here. Everything is fine and everything is, we hold our members to the highest standards. Well, if that was the case, we would be hearing all kinds of headlines from cruise lines who are going to be telling us that this ship, this ship, this ship, this ship all have defective fire retardant systems on board and they're all going into dry dock. We're hearing nothing of this sort. And so I kind of wonder, is someone waiting for one of two things to happen? One, there will not be a fire on board any of these cruise ships in their operational lifetime. And therefore, there will never have to be anything done about it. There will never be a case filed against the cruise line for incompetence, negligence, and so on. And the ship will run its course, will become a certain age, and then will be blown away by the cruise line. Cruise line will get rid of these ships one by one over time. They'll either get scrapped or they'll be turned over to some other discount cruise line somewhere else. And the hope is that there'll never be a problem. Maybe that is the big picture that they're thinking about. They're prepared to play the odds with lives of their passengers to just say, as long as there isn't a fire, we don't have a problem. And if there is a problem, we have a fund of a lot of money to protect ourselves in court to make it next to impossible to get these people to sue us, because we're going to get these cases thrown out of U.S. courts as fast as we can. We're going to make them sue us in countries where they're favorable to us, and these folks will get nothing. I mean, that's got to be the game plan. It can't be anything else. Anyway, this CLIA has come up with just a generic crap old little announcement. And funny enough, what hasn't happened in the last week is that the supplier, the company that supplied all this firefighting panels to cruise lines, apparently one of the ships that is involved is the Oasis of the Seas and the Allure of the Seas. These Oasis class ships for RCL, Royal Caribbean, these ships have this stuff. And so I read earlier today that the Oasis of the Seas had, that it took 25 transport truckloads of panels to be delivered to the shipyard for the Oasis of the Seas to be protected at the time with fire retardant panels, which means in between all the walls, between all the cabins and the flooring and the ceiling and everywhere else along the hallways, 25 transport truckloads of this defective firefighting material was installed onto these ships per ship. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar per ship cost, and it might be 10 million per ship. It is a huge amount of money. The amount of labor that was needed to install this stuff, and now that would be needed to take it out and replace it with new stuff, we could be talking 20, 30 million a ship. This is why, one big reason why you're hearing nothing about it. You're going to hear nothing about it from anyone official, and it's just hopefully going to fade away because there won't be a fire somewhere that will be fatal to anyone because of a lack of fire protection. But I don't know, guys. I'm just saying. Anyway, that was one piece of news, and like I said, it's a downer. It's not a happy story. Yeah. It's one of those. Now, another story that's making the rounds today, and I could have shown you photos, and I will not. there was apparently a cruise ship going to the Faroe Islands, and there was a stop at the Faroe Islands. And I guess the day that this cruise ship arrived, they were having on the island something that I can't explain to you in any semblance of reality. I'm just stumped at this. They had some kind of they call it a celebration going on, and what the celebration was there was a systematic, organized with helicopters, boats, speedboats, and fishing vessels. There was an organized attack put on against a pod of pilot whales that are known to be in this area of the Faroe Islands every year, I guess. And these whales were somehow corralled, frightened, to come towards the shore in a harbor. And waiting for them at the shore were a bunch of locals. And I'm going to assume fishermen, but I don't know. And apparently, 72 of these mammals were slaughtered, were basically murdered. They were attacked by fishermen with very sharp knives that are designed to cut deep into the muscle tissue of these creatures and to basically kill them. And the waters were red with blood. It was absolutely horrific. And passengers were horrified. The passengers who happened to come across this thing could not understand what they were witnessing, were totally stumped by it. The cruise line has since apologized to the passengers for not knowing that this was happening. But apparently, the story goes that quite a number of cruise lines bring passengers every year, many months of the year, to this particular island or group of islands. And the cruise lines make no mention of the fact that there is this, what seems to be a needless slaughter of mammals. I don't know if this is condoned by any United Nations fishing organization or anything like that. I can't imagine it is. I have to imagine that if this were to happen in any other country, it would be very illegal. But it's apparently a legal act in the Faroe Islands. Of course, whales don't know what the laws are of each landmass they approach. I mean, they're just whales. But apparently, other cruise lines support and promote the Faroe Islands in their sailings and in their literature to try to sell cruises to you folks. And I can only say that if you are against this kind of needless maritime culling of whales or whatever, make sure you don't take a cruise to the Faroe Islands. I mean, that's all I can say. Although I doubt it'll stop these people. They're obviously of the opinion, I guess, that it is worth their while, more worth their while, to slaughter these innocent animals, to, I guess, not have them eat their fish and keep their fishing alive, than not to slaughter them. I suppose that's it. I don't know what all the... There's no other reason I can come up with. They don't eat the whales. They don't seem to use any of the whale meat or whatever for any... Not that I know of. If any of you do know what the purpose of that was for, and there's a legitimate purpose to it, by all means, do let me know. But I can't find anything about it. Not a darn thing. So forgive me if I don't show you a whole bunch of photographs that are available online to download to show you the bloodbath that we're talking about here. I won't do it. That's really pathetic in my personal and humble opinion. In any event, there's the story on that one. Okay. I don't know how else to think about it. That's really the news of the day that I didn't want to bring you. Now, what I do want to bring you today is I did some homework today to come up with some cruises that you should be made aware of that just might be in your future wheelhouse. So I will go there. First of all, I want to say to Sharon, thank you for checking in early and being thumbs ups number 4. Hank Marshall, thank you for being here and catching the podcast later. Shady Hill Homestead, hi there to you. Number 5 thumbs ups. Diane Flowers, hello everybody. I'm number 8. Hot and humid 93 in Delaware. Gas 339 a gallon. Ken Correca, hi there, Bruce and Jen from Janet and Ken in Saginaw, Michigan, where it is 73 degrees. Got an air quality alert due to the smoke in the air these days. Gasoline $3.58 per gallon for regular. Good evening, all. We are number 9 on the thumbs up meter tonight on the World Emoji Day. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. He is in the house saying, "Hey, Bruce." And TW family, Kirk from the Big Apple is in the house tonight. Robert Mailhut is here. Good evening, Robert. Kirk, the thumbs up number 10 was our number. Robert, I think I'm number 11. Nikki, hi, y'all. We are number 12 over here in Jacksonville. Donnell, hi, Bruce and all TWB fans. I'm at least number 12. How about that, Nikki? You be 12A and I'll be 12B, laughing out loud. Stephen Butler, I think I'm number 2 on the like button tonight. We spent last week on the cool north shore of Lake Superior near Castle Danger, Minnesota. It was in the 60s during the day. It was very nice back in Northwest Arkansas, and it's hot here. Rocky Grasso, number 15. Thanks, Rocky. Nikki is here. Donnell, sounds good to me. Sharon, already 22 thumbs ups. 78 to go, Bruce. You're on your way. Jason Kimmons, good evening from Lakeland, Florida, where the heat and humidity will take away your soul. Terry Gallant, have you seen the prices for hotels in Port Canaveral? They are out of control. Nikki, Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel, saw your latest video. Made me want to cruise right now. Next one, October 22. Clifford Sayers, good evening, Bruce, number 24. Thumbs up. Kirk Brunson, I do too, Nikki. Thanks for watching. Kevin Chapman, the author, is in the house tonight. Greetings from soggy but not underwater central New Jersey. It has been 90 plus and crazy humid here for a week, but today not quite so bad. A good sea breeze would be nice from a balcony room. Thumbs up number 27. Thank you for being here tonight. Alan Carter from Calgary, number 28. How you doing there, pal? Eddie Albert, hi, Bruce and Jen. Hope all is well with you guys. Have not seen you in a while. We're living and traveling. Sharon, 30 thumbs ups now, 70 to go. The Eddie, I'm number 30. Jeannie Laminghouse, hello, Bruce, and all TWBers. Bill and Jeannie are here, but we're late for the big show from East Tennessee, but we're here. It's currently 81. Welcome, guys. Eddie Albert, Charlotte has been hot. Now the smoke from Canada is affecting North Carolina. Tim Bowman, number 39 on the thumbs up channel, Bruce. Greetings from a cloudy but sunny Seattle. 1 week until our next cruise, which is to Alaska on the Nordam. We're doing a land and sea package again this year with the grandson. This should be a lot of fun. Sharon, 42 down, 58 to go on your thumbs up meter, Bruce. You're coming up. They're coming in here. Stephen Butler, same logic as Florida. Hopes no bad hurricane this season due to loss of insurance. It is the same rationale behind the fire panels. If there is no fire, there's no problem. What could possibly go wrong? Exactly. Lee Shear, number 40. It's so hot and humid here in Boca Raton. We just booked Holland America, New Staten Dam for December the 10th to Eastern Caribbean. Good move right there, Lee. Good move. Donnell, the court case is happening against the brothers who own White Island near New Zealand, the volcano that erupted in 2019 when cruise passengers are on it. 22 died and 25 injured. That was also a sad, sad time. A very sad time. The other sad case that has come back to light, apparently a judge in Atlanta has allowed a lawsuit to be brought against, I think, Royal Caribbean by a family that had a young, I think an 18-month child pass away from falling through a window on one of the cruise ships for Royal Caribbean, where granddad was holding up the child, and the child, he lost grasp of the child, and the child fell 150 feet to the child's death. At the time when this happened, I think this happened in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The courts would not allow a lawsuit against the cruise line because a criminal charge of negligence was brought against the grandfather, and he ended up with a 2 or 3 year house arrest or something like that, a suspended sentence, something like that. But for whatever reason, the family is still going after the cruise line for negligence. So I'm sorry for the family, and I'm sorry for everyone involved. It's such a tragic, tragic story. It didn't have to happen. It's negligence without any question, in my opinion, but not from the cruise line. I'm sorry to say. You can look in the mirror and see Granddad, who has a lifetime of regret, unfortunately, on his soul. But it's not the cruise line's fault. So to me, this is a money grab, and I'm sorry to be that way, and I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's all this is now. It's been 3 years, and nothing will bring back this child, and no amount of money is going to bring back this child. And to me, the cruise line, I can't see how they're at fault for someone willingly hoisting a child up to a window and then having a child slip from their grasp. That is not a cruise line problem, especially with the ship in port. It's not like it was a wavy, windy day at the ocean. The ship was tied up at port, and this is just ridiculous. But I'm so sad to see what happened. The ship was called Freedom of the Seas when it was in Puerto Rico. Grandfather was drinking, and it's a ridiculous suit. Grandfather pleaded guilty and didn't have to do jail time. There you go, and there you have it. I'm filled with mixed emotions for that whole story, but I'm not filled with pity now. What's happening now, I'm not pitiful for the family whatsoever. I'm actually on the cruise ship side on this one, and I find it ridiculous that some judge thinks that this is now worthy. It's a pathetic display. But what are you going to do? Well, now the lawyers are just going to rack up the bill here. A major legal bill is being racked up here on all sides for no good reason. No good is going to come of this, in my humble opinion. But what can I say? All right. So with all that sadness out of the way and sad stories, I found some cruises today that I thought I would bring to your attention. And it's a myriad of cruises. It goes from A to Z, soup to nuts. And the first thing I wanted to tell you about was if you're thinking of going on a cruise to Alaska, and you are listening and reading all the press releases about how busy cruise ships are and just how packed cruise ships are, you would think that it would be, next to impossible to go on a cruise to Alaska. But I got to tell you something here. I found some cruises, a bunch of them, where you can go from Vancouver to Anchorage and Anchorage back to Vancouver, 7 days each direction. And if you were prepared to take an inside room, and instead of thinking that you don't have a balcony, thinking the other direction, that your inside room is just your bedroom and a bathroom, the rest of the ship is your balcony. If you think in those terms, you're going to love this. Check out this set of cruises. I downloaded a page right here of cruises. If you take a look at the far right-hand side, the very last column, right where my fingers are over here, you see here, $199.99. You see all these prices up and down here? Let's see if I get my finger to work. All the way up and down here, $199.99 is the price of every one of these cruises on the Sapphire Princess or the Majestic Princess or the Grand Princess. Per person, inside room, 7-day cruises. Go over to this side over here, the far left. Take a look over here. Look at this. There's 7-day cruises. All of these are 7-day cruises. There's your dates: July 19th, July 29, August 5, all the way to September 16. and notice where the cruise ship starts from and ends, and just put together 2 Sapphires, 2 Majestics, and 2 Grand Princesses back to back. And the next thing you know, you can go from Vancouver to Anchorage, Anchorage to Vancouver for $199 a person each week. One more thing to understand. You own 100 shares of Carnival Cruise shares, 100 Carnival Cruise Lines. If you own 100 shares of Carnival, you can get a $100 cabin credit for each cruise. So $100 cabin credit on the way up and $100 cabin credit on the way back. You can use that any way you want. And of course, you want to use that for specialty dining, some of your tipping, some of your drinks, whatever you want. It's $200 free cabin credit on a $400 base cruise fare. Now, you know and I know you got to add port charges and taxes, and you got to add tipping. If you have an internet package, you'll pay for that. If you drink alcohol or cola, you'll pay for that. Now, if you're going to not drink beer until you get off the ship to save money, you're not going to have any wine unless you get off the ship. You'd rather pay $4 to $6 a glass for wine instead of $8 to $15 a glass, and you'd rather have a beer for between, I don't know, $3.50 and $6 instead of $8 to $15 a beer, then you'll only drink alcohol on the shore days. And so you'll check those cruises out, and you'll do your shore day excursions, and you have a libation or two. Perhaps you are allowed to bring onto the cruise ship some cola, sodas. I don't know. You got to check this out. There's ways to make this cruise a cheap cruise, but your meals are included, your transportation is included, entertainment is included. This is a deal. So I mean, pick the cruise you want. $199 for an inside room per person, and enjoy Alaska on the cheap. No one knows when you're on the balcony or when you're on the promenade deck. They don't know what you paid for your cruise. They don't know what room number you're in. Only you know. There you go. All right. That was the first one. I wanted to get that one out of the way. Now I have 4 cruises for you. 4 individual separate cruises that you might want to consider for whatever reason you consider it. How about this first one? This is on a ship called the Grand Princess. I believe that is it right there. The Grand Princess cruise ship is going to leave Vancouver, British Columbia on September the 23rd of this year, and it's going to end up in Auckland, New Zealand, October the 17th, 23 nights later. And this ship is going to do this itinerary right here. It's going to go from Vancouver over to Victoria, and it's going to head over towards San Francisco, and then it's heading for Hawaii, French Polynesia, American Samoa, and Auckland. What a cruise this is. Now, this is the kind of cruise where when you get to Auckland, you don't have to worry about the time changes, because you've been time changing for 23 days to get used to it. And now that you're in Auckland, New Zealand, you might as well stay a couple of weeks in New Zealand and check out that place. And if you can afford it, pop a flight over to Australia. And why don't you check out Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane and enjoy a couple of weeks in Australia and work a one-way flight home? What a way to go. This ship right here will get you there. You can grab a balcony room or an inside room. Here's the pool area you get to use. Wonderful. Here's one of the dining areas you get to enjoy. Not too bad. Let me tell you what kind of a deal is being offered on this ship right here. Let me just get to this right there. The Grand Princess departing the 23rd of December with this itinerary you see right here. An inside room, $1,385 for 23 nights. I call that a bargain of a deal right there. Just about $60 a night per person. Not a bad opportunity. If you take a brochure, or you take an ocean view, pardon me, $1,516. That's a good deal. If you take a balcony, $2,429. About $100 a day per person to get you from Vancouver to Auckland, New Zealand. Brochure suite. The suite will run you instead of $8,100, will run you $3,300. So if you want to drop $3,300 a person, you can take a suite over there. Remember also, if you're going to go on this cruise, this is a Princess cruise. Oh, pardon me. This is Princess owned by Carnival. Because it's over 14 days long, I believe you get a $250 cabin credit on top of that. So take the balcony for $2,400 or do the inside for $1,385 and get a $250 cabin credit as well, just for being a shareholder of the company for this cruise. Now, there you go. That might be something that might interest some of you out there. All right, the next ship that I have up for show here is another Princess ship called the Emerald Princess. We have available here a 19-day Panama Canal cruise. 19-day Panama Canal. We're talking from Los Angeles to New York City. And this ship right here, here's what the back of it looks like, with all those pools and hot tubs over there and putting green up there. Wonderful. Grab an aft cabin or one of the cabins on the sides, catch a show at this gigantic theater. Grab yourself one of these balcony cabins and enjoy yourself. Or, like I said, get an aft cabin or a balcony cabin, look out over the water. Not a bad little itinerary there. This one here's the itinerary: Los Angeles to Mazatlan to Puerto Vallarta to Huatulco, over to San Juan de Sur, Costa Rica, Punta Arenas, through the canal. You're going to end up in Cartagena, Princess Key for the day, the private island, and then New York City. We're talking 19 nights on board this beautiful ship. This is not a bad deal coming up here. We're talking about the cost of an inside room for $937, an ocean view for $1,277, a balcony for $1,888, and a suite for $2,247. They're offering an $85 credit as well, but you can also get your hands on a $250 shareholder cruise credit per cabin. So that'll bring the cabin credits using vacations2go.com. You're up to $335 on the discounts here on the credits on board. And you can sit on the balcony and look at this site here, listen to the water go by, or hang out back here or anywhere in the middle of the ship and just enjoy yourself. Pretty nice deal on that one. That's a Panama Canal cruise, 19 nights, Los Angeles to New York City, August 21 to September 9 this year. All right. Here's another one for you. How about this ship here? This is the MSC Magnifica cruise ship. There's a 23-night cruise available on this one that will take you from Valencia in Spain all the way to Miami. And it will depart. It'll depart Valencia on October the 28th, and will land in Miami on November the 20th. So this is a great time to go cruising. And if I've got it right, let me take a look right here. I think there's the itinerary right there for you. It starts all the way in Valencia. Now that is kind of at the top of this image in the middle. You'll see where it says Valencia. Then it says Tarragona and Toulon and Genoa and Civitavecchia, which is the port for Rome, Palma de Mallorca. Then you've got Malaga, Spain, Funchal, Madeira Islands, Santa Cruz, Tenerife, Canary Islands, and then across the Atlantic, and you end up coming into, I believe we're coming into San Martin, Tortola, actually, British Virgin Islands, San Juan, Puerto Rico for a couple of nights, and then into Miami after a sea day. This is a wonderful cruise. The deal on this one is for 23 nights. We're talking 3 weeks and a day on this ship. Here's another picture of the ship here. Here's a beautiful shot of the upper deck here. You're going to get a lot of pool time out here. Suntan time, hot tub time. Here's one of the cabins inside the balcony. How about an inside room for 23 nights? $629. Ocean view, $889. Balcony, $889. How about this room right here? $889 for 23 nights. Suite, $3,049. Not so cheap, but boy, balcony on this ship right here. This would be all right. I don't think this is going to be a problem. What a fantastic itinerary to end up all the way in Miami after 23 nights. You will be relaxed when you get there, I am sure. Okay. I got one more cruise for you to talk to you about. I'm going to show you the ship right now. Now, we're talking about something completely different here. We are not talking about a super cheap $199 cruise at all. We're talking about a 6-star cruise line here. We're talking about a 6-star service cruise ship. This is the Seabourn Ovation cruise ship. This is, I believe, a division of Carnival. Am I not correct on it? It's either Carnival or Royal Caribbean. One of you will correct me if I'm right or wrong. But this is the Ovation cruise ship. This was built in 2018. It's 690 feet long, 92 feet wide, and it has 600 passengers. That's all. All cabins on this ship are balcony cabins. All the suites, they're all balcony. There are no inside rooms available at all on this ship. And take a look at this ship. Here are some images for you. This is one of the balcony cabins. Kind of a nice looking view there. Here is a shot of one of the outdoor seating areas. Relaxing in those very nicely padded lounges. No El Cheapo plastic chairs there. How about one of the lounges where the piano is being played and singers singing along? Kind of nice there. Here's a nice little shot of the outdoor main pool area with jacuzzi there. Nice. Here's another shot here of a cabin. This is one of the balcony cabins. Your bedroom is inside its own little room over there, and you have a little bar seating area, big screen TV, couch, dining area if you want to eat inside your room. Here is the buffet area to enjoy anytime you want. Here is one of the restaurant seating areas. Nothing wrong with that. Kind of nice. This, I believe, is a spa shot, one of the spa areas with the reclining heated loungers. There's the jacuzzi inside this thing. Pretty nice. This is 6-star. This is top of the line 6-star. Now, the cruise that you can go on for this ship is a 21-night cruise, and here is where you go from. You start in Lisbon in Portugal, and you begin the cruise on November the 19th, and you work your way a day at sea. You end up in Funchal, Madeira, and then Porto Santo, Portugal, the Canary Islands. And then you have a number of sea days from November 23rd until November 30th. You're at sea. You end up in Antigua on the 30th of November. You end up in Antigua. And on December 1, the next day, you're in St. Kitts. Notice these ports of call on this map, how close they are to each other. You are now going to be doing a series of very short little cruises between islands. So you have Antigua, followed by St. Kitts, followed by Martinique, followed by Barbados, then St. Vincent, then another day in Martinique, a day in Guadeloupe, a sea day, Antigua, St. Kitts, and you end it all in Saint Martin. That's your last day on this ship. So you are doing a cruise on a 6-star cruise line for 21 nights. And included in your fare, which I'll get to in a moment, it includes all gratuities, unlimited internet, and all alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. There are no separate restaurants to go to on this ship. All dining is inclusive as well. 600 passengers, all in a suite, balcony suite. You're all treated as the first class that you are. So you get to enjoy wonderful accommodations. You can nibble anytime you want here, or have a sit-down meal anywhere you like. Be pampered, enjoy the spa and everything else. All right, so this cruise, how much dinero, Bruce? What's going to cost me? $6,712 is your cost per person. Now, think about it like this. The closest ship I can give you for a big cruise line would be being on Norwegian's cruise ship in the top of the ship, that top class. The name escapes me at the moment, as it always does. You could be in the Yacht Club on MSC. You could be in the suites in Royal Caribbean. You could be in the upper quality aqua cabins on Celebrity. I can't remember the name of the class of ship on the class of room on Norwegian. I know one of you will remind me, I'm sure. In any event, you would be paying at least $175 a night per person to $200 a night per person on an upgrade cabin. If you're going to be in the it's not the Enclave for Norwegian. Remember what it's called, anybody? It's not the Enclave. But if you were on Norwegian's top end ship area there, you're talking $300 a night per person for sure. What we have here is for 21 nights, we're talking a little over $300 a night. But this includes all your tipping, all of your drinks, and your internet, and all the dining. The Haven is the name of the... Sharon, thank you for bailing me out. I just thought of it as I saw. The Haven is the top of the Norwegian cruise ship. If you want to spend 21 nights on the Haven, on any 21-night cruise, you will spend more than $6,700 because you will pay for the tipping, you'll pay for the drinks, you'll pay for specialty dining, you'll pay for internet, you will pay more. Here, you're getting a 600-passenger cruise ship, getting all this included, and smaller ports, no kids. It's adult only. We are talking the best of the best. You come off of that cruise after 21 days, you are calmed the heck down. Pretty nice situation to be in. It is the Haven, Rocky. You got it. I appreciate it. That would be one heck of a cruise. 21-nighter from Lisbon all the way to Saint Martin. It's not cheap. I will grant you that. It's not a $199 discount cruise from Vancouver to Anchorage and Anchorage back to Vancouver. We are comparing apples to oranges, no question about it. But we are also talking about as good as it gets when it comes to ocean cruising on a seaborne ship, on an ocean liner that is just designed to pamper and have you be spoiled rotten by the on-staff people, the folks on board that ship. They will take care of your every need. You get off that ship, day 22, day 23, you are in a major depression because you are doing everything yourself for yourself now. All the other stuff's been looked after. Your cabin was cleaned to within an inch of its life. Everything was looked after for you. I don't even know if you have to pay extra for laundry services. I'm not sure if you have to pay for that. Maybe you do. You'd gladly do it. Why not? This would be some cruise, I gotta say. Anyway, those are the cruises I came up with today to talk to you about, to kind of let you in on what's available out there for the next few months, from $199 for an inside room for Alaska to $800 odd, $1,000 up to $6,000. Any kind of budget you have for cruising, there's probably something for you. And some of these cruises are quite unique, I have to admit. They have a unique locations and unique destinations, and lots of amenities on board the ships, and just a good time. So there you have it, everybody. I hope you don't mind today's show. I didn't want to fill it with doom and gloom today with all the sad stories that are out there, although I gave you a hint of so what's going on. But hopefully next week it's nothing but happiness. We'll see what happens. Maybe everybody decides this week to stand around the campfire, sing "Kumbaya." People won't sue people, and there won't be any issues. We'll find out. We'll see what's going on. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves. Stay healthy for me. Stay cool out there because the temperature has been warm. Give all of your favorite relatives and friends an extra long hug when you see them next time. You never know when it's the last time. And by all means, come and see us. Come and see us next Monday right here for our big show here Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Appreciate you all joining me every week. Thank you for the thumbs ups. And those of you on the rerun, please hit the thumbs up button. Let me know what number you are so we can keep track of how many thumbs ups have come in. We're sitting at 56 thumbs ups, and Rocky Grasso has just put up the notice. He has been a member of this channel for 36 months, has been a sponsor member of this channel. I cannot thank you enough, sir, for the loyalty to this cause. You are a good man. I appreciate it. All of you who are sponsor members, I very much appreciate this. Those of you who are regular viewers and subscribers, thank you all for subscribing. And thanks for hitting the thumbs up button to give us a bit of momentum on YouTube. Pete Hoskins, thank you, my friend. Robert, have a great week, everybody, and the same to you. All of you have a wonderful week this week. We'll catch you all next Monday at the same time, and we'll compare notes and see what's going on out there. Okay, everybody, take care all. And from Calgary, it's Bruce and Jen wishing you all a great week. Louise, my thumb is up. Hi, Bruce. Thanks, Louise. Have a great week out there. And we'll see you next week, Monday, everybody. Bye for now.